My name is Yuki Hashimoto, and I'm a 30-year-old housewife. I don't have any children yet, but I am 30 years old, and my husband Manabu is 32, so at our age, I think it's about time. I met my husband through a mutual friend. I was working a lot, and he told me,
"These days it's normal for a woman to be working. I also really like my job right now too."
I remember how happy I was when he spoke to me without any judgment. When we met, I was already 28 years old and he was 30. We were at the age where if you were to date somebody, you were already thinking about marriage, so naturally, we got into a serious relationship. Without any big issues, we were able to get married. Manabu really liked video games, and even though I wasn't that interested in them before, he began to really enjoy teaching me, so now we both love playing video games together.
You know, I've always thought this, but you are super smart, aren't you, Yuki? And I feel like I can't beat you in any strategy type games.
Everyone around us often said it's nice that we can enjoy the same hobbies at our age, and people were envious of how great our relationship was. Oh, Manabu's phone? I guess he's in the shower. I wonder if it's a work call. That's when I looked at Manabu's phone, but the phone displayed the name Rumiko? Up until now, I had never touched Manabu's phone without his permission, but this time I thought that I needed to clarify any suspicions I had. That reminds me, Manabu said he had a boss that would be really annoying if he finds an open message and doesn't reply immediately, so he installed an app that allows you to keep open messages without needing to send a read receipt. Who knew I would be saved by the app? I used the app to look up Manabu's most recent messages, but then that restaurant we went to the other day was really great. When do you want to meet next? By the way, my husband's day off is going to change, so if we can meet on Sundays from now on, that would be helpful. What about your wife?
Totally fine. Our 1-year anniversary is coming up too. We should go somewhere nice.
I can't wait. Interesting. 1-year anniversary, even though we've been married for 2 years now. And not only that, but a double affair? Interesting. I thought I'd been giving my husband Manabu a good life full of love and care, and I thought that Manabu loved me too. To be honest, I was almost impressed that people could cheat so easily like that.
Well, I feel refreshed. Yuki, why don't you get in too? I'll leave the hot water on.
Thank you. Oh, Manabu, your phone was on the floor. I thought I might step on it.
What? Sorry, thanks. I'll be more careful.
It's amazing how we can act like nothing has happened. Once we both finished taking our showers, we ate dinner together as usual. We talked about our days as usual, and we got into bed side by side together to sleep as usual. As if I'd be able to sleep. I made sure that Manabu was definitely asleep, and this time I decided to go through all the messages in detail. I had my cell phone ready, and made sure not to forget to record the screen. As proof of the affair, screenshot messages are weak. They're way too easy to edit, so if possible, you should take a video of the other person's cell phone with the screen clearly visible. I remembered that I read in an article somewhere that video evidence is way stronger in court. With my phone in one hand and his in the other, I scrolled through the messages. But they just kept on coming and coming, numerous affairs. This woman called Rumiko, he'd been dating for 1 year, and that seems to be the longest one. So I got curious. I looked up other women whose names sounded different from his friends or colleagues, and I couldn't believe it, but I found more than one. That restaurant you took me to last time was really good, Mr. Manabu. I want you to take me again sometime.
Of course! But what about your husband? You just got married, aren't you gonna get in trouble?
It's fine. My husband is clueless. He's already an old man anyway.
Well then, let's make sure we play a lot.
Yay! Based on the conversation, I could tell that this girl named Hannah was probably younger than Rumiko, and that they'd only just started seeing each other. Was Manabu this popular with girls? Well, maybe his looks aren't that bad, but since my husband and I were both working, besides our rent and our bills, we managed our money separately. We also didn't have children, so he probably had plenty of money to mess around with. I can't believe I've become a wife that's been cheated on. I was shocked, but I was a lot more calm and logical than I expected myself to be. If I didn't have any evidence and was left to my own imagination, I may have confronted Manabu more hysterically. But with this much in hand, if anything, I was curious to see how far Manabu was taking this. I sent the video evidence of his messages to my computer and deleted it from my phone. After saving that data to a USB drive, I decided to get some rest. I thought I wouldn't be able to sleep with all this on my mind, but I guess I was able to sleep.
Morning, hey Yuki, are you busy with work today?
Not really. It's not our busy season either, so I think I'll be able to finish on time.
In that case, should we go out for drinks tonight? It's been a while and Keisuke says that he wants to see us too.
Keisuke, huh? Keisuke's actually the person who introduced me and Manabu and brought us together. He was a friend of my friend, and he was always a very well-known face with many connections. My first impression of him was as a playboy. Even though he looks like a normal guy, I can remember thinking he was quite the cumbersome person. The reason why he would invite us, a married couple, for drinks at this timing. This is definitely gonna be a pain, but sounds good. Let's go.
Yay, I'll send Keisuke a message, okay? We can just meet up at the bar, right? I'll send you the link later. Wow, Yuki, long time no see. What is it, since the wedding, maybe?
You may be right. What a surprise to be invited out of nowhere by you.
Whoo-wee, as usual, you're so cold.
As usual, you look like a playboy.
We'll take 3 beers on tap to start.
Have you two been seeing each other as much as usual?
I guess so. Over the last year, he's been playing with me a lot. We went to go drinking in Yokohama the other day, too. That's right. In that time, Rumiko was like...
Rumiko? Is that a new friend of yours?
What? No, does that make you curious? Hey, cut it out, Keisuke. It's nothing. She's just a friend of Keisuke's.
Interesting. Is that so? How nice. I'd love to be invited next time.
We'll have to see about that. You are a pretty face, Yuki, but you're not really good vibes.
Then why did you invite me for drinks today, you piece of crap?
You might be good for someone who likes to be teased, but I'm more of the type that likes to be the teaser.
Maybe I should just squeeze them until they cry, these scumbags.
Come on, cut it out.
I see Manabu isn't going to try to stop him either. Well then, why don't you invite Miss Rumiko to drinks right now? I think I'll head home soon anyway.
What? Oh dear, did you just get a little mad? I didn't know that you were the jealous type like that, Yuki. Come on, the beer hasn't even gotten here yet.
Didn't you hear me? I said I was going to leave Manabu. Be careful not to drink too much. Tell Miss Rumiko I said hi.
As usual, not a shadow of cuteness on her. That's the reason why she was never that popular.
That was seriously a waste of time. I bet Keisuke was the one who introduced Manabu to Rumiko. 1 year ago lines up perfectly timing-wise, and more than anything, they probably wanted to laugh at me and kick me while I was down. At first glance, Keisuke seems serious, but he's actually a playboy. And not only that, I feel like he has a slightly misogynistic air about him. Just because I'm still working full-time after getting married, to my face, he said,
"No matter how much Manabu says he's understanding, surely you should hold back a bit. Yuki, do you have any intention of being a proper wife?"
Ever since then, he seems like a bit of an enemy to me. Of course, I was grateful that he introduced me to Manabu and got us together, but that's all in the past too. This just means I was fooled by these two scumbag pieces of crap. Well, I have a mountain of things to get done. I pretended to be asleep when I got home. Then, and just as expected, a completely wasted Manabu fell face first onto his bed. He was immediately passed out, so I grabbed his phone out of his bag. I went through his messages and focused my investigation on the group chats. Wow, that's amazing. Been watching too much porn, those idiots. In the group chat I found, there was Manabu, Keisuke, and Rumiko, and I found out that the 3 of them had had some sort of relationship. Not only that, but photos and videos of them getting riled up together was perfectly organised into an album. No, but really, what kind of childish dreams are they trying to glorify here? Maybe I should change the group chat to Childish Neanderthal Monkey. The 2 of them went out of their way to invite me to drinks with them and intentionally brought up Rumiko's name. They wanted to see my reaction and then laugh about it over drinks. I don't want to say this, but I work in the IT field and I make a higher salary than Manabu. While I'm at it, higher than Keisuke too. Manabu hated that I would often be the one to pay when we went out, so perhaps he was insecure about our salary gap. Even if that was the case, there are acceptable ways to get revenge and unacceptable ways to do the same thing. And not only that, but this wasn't even a legitimate revenge. It was merely the immature and brainless resentment of a man who couldn't win with his salary. I hate that I have to do all this work. I grabbed all the data out of Manabu's SD card and saved the evidence of his affairs. I put his cell phone back in the bag as though nothing happened and packed a few bags and left the house. Hello, do you have a minute? I need to ask your help for something.
Good morning. Did you already go to work? Sorry about yesterday. I guess Keisuke and I both had a little bit too much to drink. I promise there's nothing between Miss Rumiko and I. I want to talk to you in person.
I won't be working overtime today either, so I'll be coming home on time as usual. We can continue this conversation at home. As it turns out, he was cheating on me to no end, but didn't seem to think I'd noticed. And not only that, he was trying to avoid a divorce. Well, it's definitely not going to go his way though.
This isn't good. I definitely crossed the line and angered her. When I'm with Keisuke, he makes me drink at his pace, and that's why I get in trouble. Oh, Yuki, you're home?
I'm home, Manabu. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you, did I? I got a ride to work from today, from my big sister.
Mr. Aki!
Anyway, Manabu, there's something we need to talk about.
I'm sorry. It's just that yesterday I drank a little bit too much, and I'm truly so sorry. I regret it.
Oh, that's not it. I'm not mad at your behavior yesterday, you see.
Huh?
I was just thinking about going round to your parents' house right now, in regard to you and your multiple affairs. I asked my older sister to come and grab you and make sure you don't run away.
Affairs? What are you talking about?
You're welcome to play dumb as much as you want, but every single time you do, I'll be playing video after video from my phone as evidence.
What?
In this day and age, how can you be stupid enough to leave so much photo and video evidence? Did you have no feeling of wanting to hide any of what you were doing? And so I opened my folder and pressed play, and then the video of the three of them getting very heated started playing on my phone. When he saw this, Manabu went pale as a ghost. Well then, Manabu, surely you'll be coming to your parents' house, right? Misaki, if you wouldn't mind? My sister quickly picked up Manabu, who was frozen and unable to move, and threw him right into the side of the cart for me. I'm truly so glad that my older sister was a former professional wrestling athlete. She always used to say that muscles would save the world, and in times like this, it really did feel that way. Well then, before we knew it, we arrived at my in-laws' house. Both of my in-laws seemed very confused, wondering why we were coming over at this time of the evening, but they let us in anyway. I'm going to get straight to the point, but Manabu cheated on me.
Excuse me?
There must be some mistake. I have all evidence right here in my hand, so I'll explain it to you from the beginning.
Hey, cut it out, please, just stop. I'll admit, I cheated, okay? I cheated. I had an affair.
No way! Why would you do something so stupid?
At this point, the reason doesn't really matter anymore. I would like to get a divorce.
You're joking, right? No way, but it was only one time.
You cheated on me for 1 year with Rumiko, and you recently started a relationship with this Hannah. So can you please explain what you meant by only one time?
Well, that's,
Hey, Manabu, what have you done?
Sir, if I'm not able to receive a signature immediately on these divorce papers, I'm planning on going to a lawyer with all the video and photo evidence that I have in my hand, and I will create an official document detailing the situation and send it to his company. Manabu's company, which would mean the company that you own, right, sir?
You don't need to take it that far.
You have absolutely no right to speak. Shut up. What would you like to do? For a family-run small company, to have a major scandal dropped on your business, or to simply sign the divorce papers? Surely you would know which was the best for a business owner, right, sir?
Manabu, you need to sign those divorce papers right now.
I don't want to. That means I would have to pay a settlement fee.
This is not an option. Do you have any idea what horrible things you've done? What an embarrassment. If you're not going to sign it, then you'll be fired from our company.
Why? But why?
Do you have any idea of the damages it would cause if anyone found out about this? For a community-based company like ours, a scandal like this would ruin us. And as the son of the CEO, how do you not understand the gravity of this, you absolute fool?
After getting yelled at by his father, with tears in his eyes, Manabu finally signed the divorce papers. It took a lot of effort, but at least it was done. Well, then, as discussion for the settlement fee...
The settlement fee will be $15,000. I'll pay $15,000.
That's hilarious. Despite saying you didn't want a divorce, you already researched the average settlement fee in an event of an affair, huh? Honestly, I couldn't understand why I ended up married to this useless, dishonest scum of the earth. But that was soon coming to an end anyway. In exchange for having the biggest embarrassment of my life, let's just say I will be having the biggest revenge of my life. However, I will be collecting $50,000 from you.
What? No, an amount that exorbitant is just impossible. I also have a company lawyer, you know.
You truly are stupid, aren't you?
What?
From what I could see in those messages, both Rumiko and Hannah are also married, which means that if their husband found out about these affairs, what do you think that would happen?
No way!
That's right, sir. He'd be getting sued by each husband on top of the maximum $15,000 each. 15 times 2 is 30,000, and on top of the 15,000 from me, so that's 45,000. But if you would pay me $50,000, then we can save the $5,000 as to keep my mouth shut, and I will promise not to say anything to the two husbands. Of course, I will be leaving this town as well, so your company will be left out of it. Don't you think that's a very cheap fee? At the end of the day, my father-in-law was a business owner. He immediately realized that this was my way of cutting him a deal.
I understand. I will make sure that my son immediately pays $50,000. In that case, I would like to ask you to keep this between us. I beg you.
Dad, don't listen to what this woman says.
Shut up! If you're not going to do as you're told, then you will be getting fired. I will be disowning you from this family for the rest of your life.
No, wait, that's too much.
Shut up! An idiot son like you, damn it!
And so I was able to receive a signature on the divorce papers, as well as a settlement fee of $50,000 on the spot, and I returned home. On the way home, I stopped by a nice restaurant to celebrate with my sister.
I don't think this is the end for you.
This is why you're my sister. You know me too well.
Because Yuki, you're a genius with an IQ of 200. You have to be seriously stupid to make you an enemy.
That's right. My brain works a little faster than most people. I studied abroad on an international exchange while I was in high school, and I've also studied at universities overseas. But about this, I never spoke to anyone. Not my friends, and certainly not Manabu. When people know you're too smart, you can quickly become an outcast, and it can make life very difficult. That's why, even when Manabu introduced me to games and I started playing, I knew that I could never play them too seriously. As for the trick to living well, if I do too much, I would definitely destroy myself. And that's why this is as far as I'm going to take it. I'll let him fall to the pit bottom of his own from here.
Hey, what is going on? This isn't what we talked about.
Oh dear, if it isn't my ex-husband Manabu, what do you want?
Are you kidding me? We had a deal that if I paid the $50,000 that you would just stay quiet.
Just as I promised, I haven't said anything to anyone.
Well then, why were the documents about the affair sent to my company? Not only that, but 2 of them.
Oh, then perhaps are those from Rumiko and Hana's husbands?
Excuse me?
Just makes you think about what other people wouldn't catch on to what I just sniffed out. So, you know, both Rumiko and Hana showed plenty signs of affairs on their social medias.
No way.
I think it would be impossible to not have doubts of an affair. Nowadays, it's pretty easy to find evidence on social media, and plenty of detective agencies for this specifically. No matter what, it will be hard to run away from all this.
No way, help me, please. We used to be married, you know.
More importantly, are you sure you should be messaging me?
What?
Hana's husband. He seemed like a pretty scary guy, so do be careful.
You're joking, right? Please help me.
Goodbye, Manabu. That's right, I had already searched out both Rumiko and Hana's social media accounts, as well as the accounts of the people that I assumed to be their husbands. From there, all I had to do was this post. Is this your wife? You must get along really well. I'm jealous. I sent this from an account that was clearly on a cheating vacation with Manabu to an account that I assumed belonged to her husband. If it wasn't her husband's account, then I'd just end it there. But if it was her husband's account, then surely it would spark an interest. My prediction was a huge success. After that, the husband made moves on his own, his wife and Manabu, and on top of that Keisuke, who looked like he had a relationship with Rumiko, one by one they were picked out like potatoes. Perhaps they had a connection to Hana somewhere, not that I would know. After that, I got countless SOS messages from Manabu and Keisuke. I read every single one, but ignored them all. Why did I bother reading, you ask? Well, that's because it was the highest form of entertainment, especially after all those 2 said to me. I thought I could at least enjoy the grand finale. Based on what I gathered from their messages, both Manabu and Keisuke were pursued by both of the husbands, so not only were they left with the settlement fees, the documentation was sent to both of the companies. Apparently, Manabu was fired from his company, and he was disowned by his parents. Not only that, but because he already paid me $50,000, his account was empty, and because Hana's husband was a pretty scary person, Keisuke was able to get away with just a demotion at work, but after being threatened by Hana's husband, he resigned from the company himself. The 2 of them ended up as escort boys in a club that Hana's husband owned, and apparently they're stuck being used there. For what it's worth, Rumiko also was divorced by her husband. Hana was also divorced, and they were both sued by their husbands for settlement fees. So apparently, the 2 women are also working together at the lounge as escorts. How wonderful that this foursome that got along so well worked together in the same place. Congratulations! Well, for a business that's pretty much illegal, I have no idea what kind of horrible work they're being forced to do.
Yuki, let's go to the hot springs to get refreshed.
Great idea. Seriously, I'm so glad that I have you, Aki. For a while, I think I'd like to treat myself with the $50,000 I got my hands on.